So we're going to be doing it in a little bit, sorry, of our classic inaudible whispered style. And I'm going to tell you about what's been happening at work, of course, because that's where all the drama happens. No, 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 no. That's where all the drama happens. So without further ado, let's get to business and talk about a co-worker that I'm gonna call B. Now, B is not really a co-worker actually, because I've only had one interaction with them 2 days ago, and they are an allied healthcare professional, and what that means is they are not a doctor, but they are very equally as important because they provide a different care for different service, and I can't say what specific service because that may give away who they are, and we're not about that life because this is actually just gossip. It's alleged, actually none of this actually ever happened. Okay, so yeah, I basically needed some support from from B in providing care for someone, and they basically, long story short, they flat out said no, but the way I approached it was initially, okay, this specific patient needed some additional support because they needed to go somewhere else in the hospital. And so I went up to B and said, look, I can't physically go downstairs because I have X, Y, Z and all these other patients to see and look after, and it's not really my responsibility to do so. That's why we have additional staff, support staff. And so I asked the main head person who's in charge, A, let's call them, I asked A if they can find me some help in supporting this patient. And so A said, look, initially I thought, oh, that's okay, then we can just send a member of staff down with them, a member of staff who's not, doesn't necessarily have to be clinical, but can do something if anything happens, which it won't, it's just in the odd case it happens. And so A assigned B to complete this task, and so B comes up to me 5 minutes later after A had assigned her this task, and she comes up to me and she says, why are you telling the manager on me? Now I have to do additional work. And at this point, it's 4 p.m. Supposed to finish at 5 p.m. I'd been there since 8:30 a.m. It's been a long day. I'm tired. It's Friday. I want to go home. So this just glosses over my head, and I heard her say it, but it just didn't register in my head. I don't know if this has happened, but when I'm tired or focused, someone might be speaking to me in the distance and it just goes over my head. And then she comes over and goes, knock, 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 in my face. Like literally not on the table. She goes, knock, 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 in front of my face, like close to my glasses. And I thought she was going to hit me. So I moved back a little bit. And I was like, what the hell do you think you're doing? And then B says, how rude of you to not acknowledge what I'm talking about. Look, this is what the problem with you doctors is, that you think that you're above the law, you think that you're better than everyone else, and you don't understand that we're not going to listen to you, and that we're going to do anything else that you want to tell me. You're not going to speak like that. And little did you know that I'm the person who expected it, and I know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to help you any further. this is internal monologue, by the way. At this point, I'm not saying anything. She's just yapping at me. And I was just thinking, all I did was, this is my first interaction with you, and you're just cussing me out and talking about how you feel that I think that I'm superior, which is not the case. If anything, I'd rather you feel superior so that you can take on more responsibility. And at the end of the day, I didn't tell you to do anything. Your manager, A, told you to do something, and she's still going. She's saying, look, that you guys think it's up just because you got more education, that's fine. Unfortunately, I didn't have the same opportunities as you. You know, as a black woman, I didn't get the same opportunities as you. I've been struggling and I've been doing things. And I was just like, oh my god, that she did that it wasn't anything to do with me. And that it was so unprofessional for me to even go to someone else and do that. I just minded my own business and left it at that, and just not entertain the fact that it's not going to be something that does. But even that is just not a good answer. She's not going to do things like that. I just thought that was such inappropriate for her to be saying these things in front of my face. So after she paused a little bit, so the last thing she said before I said anything was, she said, how dare you think that you have a right to boss me around? And that's when I said, and I quote, I'm going to document that you're harassing me because this is so inappropriate. It's embarrassing. Everyone around us is listening to this, and I feel like it's unsafe for me to continue my work, is what I said. I didn't feel unsafe, but if it did if she's willing to go knock, knock, knock in my face, like literally knock, 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 then I wouldn't put it past her to like go further if she doesn't know what personal space is. And so after that, she sort of backed away, huffing and puffing, and she walked away, and I didn't think much of that. And then about 5 minutes goes by, and then she comes back. Well, I should tell a lie. I can hear the same voice moaning about, oh my god, this is so difficult. Oh my god, why can we do such a difficult task? Can we do things that I'm not supposed to do? Because it's not appropriate for me to do things like everybody thinks that I'm sort of, that I'm joking, like I'm important and things like that, because you think I don't have the qualification, you think I'm not doing this, you think I'm just someone who takes orders, etc, etc. Well, guess what? The lifts aren't working, so I'm not doing anything. And I felt so bad because this patient who was waiting to go somewhere and just needed an escort. Bear in mind, he could walk. English wasn't his first language, but he could walk and mobilize and things like that. The only reason we're sending him in a wheelchair and with an escort is so that we're not liable if he falls or anything like that, which I doubt he would have in his current state. And then she came back with him in the wheelchair, shouting at the top of her voice. I couldn't see her at this point. I was just hearing what she was saying, because there's the wall and there's the bay. And then all I heard was, ha ha, the lifts aren't working, so he's just gonna have to wait here, because I'm not taking him and I'm making him walk. And then that happened, and I turned around and I was just like, I said out loud, maybe I shouldn't have, it was a bit like, maybe it was a bit too much sass, I don't know what was happening. Friday evening, you know. What I said was, I'm not an engineer, I can't fix the lifts. Maybe you should call someone to fix the lifts, it's not just my responsibility to look after people. And then she turns around and she comes back to face with me, and she comes all the way to my face and she was like, look, what did you say? What did you say? Just say that to my face, say it to my face, if you got the balls to say it to my face. And I said, look, I'm not an engineer. I repeated exactly what I said. I'm not an engineer. It's not my responsibility to fix the lifts and look after everybody and everything in this hospital. And I said it with the sass. Because at this point I was just over it. Like, over my head. And then the manager, the main and she was just like, what the hell is going on? I don't realise what's going on. This is so unprofessional. Why is this happening in front of the patient? The patient is right there sitting in a wheelchair, and he's just witnessing you guys, and it's not a pleasant experience for him. All he wanted to do was he wanted to go and he wanted to have something and he wanted to get the procedure done, and you were just preventing him from doing that, and that just made me feel awful, and I felt like I was responsible for the situation, but she was making me feel bad. And so B decided, while A was talking and telling us how this was inappropriate, B decided to say, you people get paid just because you think you're smart and above us, whereas I get paid because I actually do physical work. And this just flipped a switch on A, and A turned around, and I've never seen her so red. She turned around and she said, if you ever want to work here again, if you ever want to work here again, then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna do your job, and you're gonna make sure you take this patient to his appointment, and I'm gonna call you every 20 minutes to make sure that you are with him, and if you are not with him and you are not giving me an update, then you will never be working in this hospital again. Do you understand? And I was just like, oh my god, and I was taken aback and I was like, go A, thank you so much. I actually felt supported because A is quite high up, and she was just like, this is not how it's supposed to be. And then A like slammed her pen, and me and B in the scenario, we were just quiet because I'm like, good, someone's putting her in her place. And then A slams her pen down and she says, I'll be back in 1 minute. Don't move, B. To B, she says, don't move. And A is really nice to me. She calls me baby dog every time she sees me, and she always asks me, have I eaten? And you know, make sure I take breaks, and if I need any help, just ask. And she's very lovely and supportive to everyone. And so she slams her pen down and she goes, I'll be back in 1 minute. And so we're standing there. Well, I'm sitting. The other B is standing. And so she goes, and my other doctor colleague comes up and asks me if I was okay, and she was saying that just ignore things because this is how it happens in the hospital, unfortunately. This is the power dynamic, and then people think the responsibility is not theirs, when really the responsibility is theirs. We just don't want to do it. We don't want to be faced with things that aren't too good and not too good. Unfortunately, that's how it's going to be, but I just want things to happen in a certain way. And then what they happen is just not going to be the way this is going to be. And I just feel like it's not too great because unfortunately this is what happens, and we just have to go forward from there. And I feel like it's okay, but sometimes it's not okay, sometimes it's not the way it's supposed to be, and unfortunately that's how it's going to be. So from then, and then afterwards, A comes back while the other doctor friend is talking to me, and I'm just getting on writing my email. I think I was writing an email for a referral, which is important. Because unfortunately, for some reason, everything has to be done via email or paper, or I don't know why. It just makes no sense to me why this is an inner city hospital and it's using archaic methods for, I don't know, for patient care. It just makes no sense to me. That's not the point. A comes back and she says, the lifts are working, the lifts have always been working, and you were lying. So you will now go take this patient and do your job, otherwise you will not be working here again. Comprendo? And she says comprendo a lot. But this was a comprendo type comprendo. And B says something under her voice. I think she said something like, well, this bed isn't going to do anything anyway, so I'm just going to have to do most of them as usual. And A heard it, and she was just like, you are a disgusting person. I don't know why you are doing this. You will not be coming here again. Today will be your last day of work, effective immediately. Because I think they can do that if there's like a patient safety query or things like that. And then B was just, I don't know, she started panicking and she started apologizing, and I was just like, why did it take that sort of extreme to make you realize that you were in the wrong, or to make you apologize and actually do what you were supposed to do? And A was like, it's too late now, it's too late to apologize now. I don't know why you're doing this, I don't know why this has come to the first place. All we want to do is to work together and to be harmonious, but unfortunately people are making it difficult, and if you keep making things difficult, this is what we're going to have to do. apologizes for what's happening and that this is not usually the case. And then she turned around and said, I'm just gonna mention something, we're gonna do a huddle before you go. And usually the huddle's at 2 o'clock, but she wanted another one at 5 just before we went. And so we did a huddle, and in the huddle, all the clinical staff that were working at the moment who weren't doing important things, like life-saving important things or legally important things, gathered, and A said that, and A turned around and said, look, we have all sorts of staff here and everybody knows what their responsibilities are because it's in our job descriptions, and we have to help each other, and we have new doctors on the ward, newly qualified like me and some others, newly qualified doctors that have not worked here before, that need help with policies and rules and need help in managing patient care, and that's why we're here. We need to do our best to support these doctors, support our staff, otherwise things won't go well. And I felt really backed. I felt really happy and supported, and yeah, I felt like justice was served a little bit, because all I wanted to do was make sure the patient needs were met, and unfortunately someone didn't want to do their job, and it became an argument. Maybe because they were having a bad day. Retrospectively, I don't think they were. If I'm thinking about it, they were just mean, and it being mean because unfortunately I'm learning the hard way that being kind and nice is not always going to get you the solutions that you want. I think I have to be firm and understand when to be firm, because unfortunately it's not helping me. But on that note, that ends the little bit of a gossip vent story session. Let me know if it was tingly for you. If not, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. But if it was, let me know, and I'm sorry that I'm taking so long to make videos. It's just been a long time, and when I do finally get a day off, I usually get one full day off a week. When I do get that day off, I'm either just catching up on life and admin stuff and sleeping, and it's just a lot of things. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in that video. Bye.